Hi, I'm Derek Powell. I am a graduate of the Merage School of Business. I attended the full-time program here in 1998. I currently serve as a chairperson for the Dean's Leadership Circle. I also serve as the Chief Strategy and Growth Officer for a media tech company called Edison. And I'm here with Reza.
Thanks, Derek. And I'm Reza Jahangiri. I'm a local Orange County guy, grew up here and went to school at UCI for undergrad, studied economics. Full circle, I'm a chair of the Dean's Advisory Board for the Merage School. And I was the founder of a company called AAG and now run a company called Bloom Retirement Holdings. And we're here with Dean Williamson.
Reza, Derek, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me today. Very excited to talk to you about the school, but also I want to take this opportunity to say thank you for all that you do for the Merage School of Business. Your leadership makes a huge difference in the accomplishments of our institution.
Thank you, Dean.
Thank you.
And Dean, congratulations on being appointed your new term.
Thank you.
So as you look ahead now to the next 3 to 5 years, what do you see as the big challenges and some of the opportunities for the Merage School?
Simply put, our job is to increase access to a world-class education. If we achieve that outcome, I believe we're going to enhance the outcomes of our region. Now, to do that, our strategy has been pretty straightforward. We want to inspire innovation through inclusion. Inspiring is all about the educational process. We believe that education allows people to perceive an opportunity in their life that they did not think was possible. They can take on a new job, move into a new industry, challenge themselves to perhaps create a new company. This is the backbone of what we're trying to do. Now, we would love it if they're doing that in a way in which is driving innovation in our region. And for us, that's technology. We're in a hub of technology, one of the capitals of technological innovation in the world. We want to lean into that and take full advantage of that for our students. And finally, this is about inclusion. We think that we're going to be more innovative as an institution if we're able to get a broader range of people in our community to participate in this educational process. That, I think, is our secret sauce. So we have a very strong track record. The last 5 years have been a really good run for us. Our degree programs are at their highest level in terms of ranking. We just completed our 10-year review, which is run by the Academic Senate here at the University of California, Irvine. They commended our school for the world-class research that's being done by our faculty, the high quality of our programs, but also the way in which we've integrated technology across not just our curriculum, but our actual operations. So that, I think, has given us a lot of confidence that this is a mission we can achieve. We also have seen phenomenal outcomes for our students. We know that our class of 2024, 6 months after graduation, 90% of those undergraduate students had jobs. And given that over 40% of our students are the first in their family to go to college, that's the return we want for that type of investment. Now, if I look forward, there's going to be some headwinds. We know that we're seeing changes in the labor market. What employers need is evolving, and we're going to have to make sure that we maintain our relevance to what their needs might be. We also know that there's some broader questions around the importance of a university education in today's economy and today's society. Those are questions that we have to face head on. We need to be able to have strong answers for that. I think the solution is us leaning back into what has been our core, innovation. Looking at ways in which we can continue to launch new programs, evolve our curriculum, find new ways for our students to have experiential opportunities that get them job ready when they leave this educational experience. But equally important, leaning into our relationships with our broader community. We will do this in partnership with industry. We will do this in partnership with civic society. I think those types of cross-sector partnerships, they're the key to driving lasting innovations in our region.
I was fascinated by an article that you wrote in the Orange County Business Journal titled "The Power and Promise of Higher Education in the Age of Disruption." Could you share more on your thoughts on this topic and how that's shaping business education today?
There's a lot of conversation in today's society about what is the role of a university today. And there's a lot of opinions on this. Some individuals are saying that the role or the relevance of a university degree has declined. Some are saying it's not even necessary for what you need to do in your life. So in the article, I talk about the actual data. So the data shows that if you have a university degree, you are half as likely to be unemployed. You're likely to make twice as much money. But it's more than just the economic outcome. You tend to live 8 years longer. You tend to be more involved in your civic community around you. You tend to have a healthier life and have more financial stability. And the point I was trying to make is that we have a lot of evidence that shows that an investment in your skill, investment in your talent through education is perhaps the best and most powerful investment you can make in your life. Don't see a better return on investment than that. So it's very important in these conversations that we understand this is important for us as a community, not just economically, but socially. Now, I also acknowledge, however, that there are some challenges in higher education. We only have about 30% of the people in this country have received an undergraduate degree. Many people are surprised when they hear that statistic, 30%. So there's a lot of individuals for whom this opportunity has not been within reach. And we have to acknowledge that, and we have to think hard about why is that and what can we do to solve that. The other aspect of this is there has been a lot of questions about the cost of education, and more importantly, the return on this investment. Is it still high? Is it still there? Are we learning things in universities that are still relevant to the types of things people need to do in their careers? And I think that's also a very important challenge for us to take on. My final point in the article was really saying we're ready to take those challenges on at the Merage School. We're not afraid of that. We think that that type of challenge is appropriate for us. We're a state institution. We want to make sure we're relevant to our community. We think that's our duty to do so. And as a result, we've been doing a lot of things over the last several years to ensure that that rigor and that relevance have maintained at a high level. We've launched 3 new master's degrees in the last 3 years. It's really amazing to kind of see how we have come together to say, this is what industry needs. We will generate that type of talent for you. We have made major changes in our other programs, bringing in new curriculum on sustainability, on issues around Fintech, issues around artificial intelligence, new content around healthcare, all major industries in our region that are really driving and shaping not just how we work, but the quality of life we have. We've also done a lot of things to ensure that our students are getting experiences that go beyond the classroom, like our new venture competition, which has never been bigger and which allows students hands-on opportunities to create new companies. So these things are really part of how we're trying to address this challenge. We don't see it as something we should walk away from or deny. But I think the big question for me is not, is the university education, is it useful? I think the bigger challenge is, how can we ensure that more people have access to the promise that a university education provides?
So, Dean Williamson, consistent with some of the themes you just discussed of challenges and costs facing higher education, there's considerable discussion around reduced spending in terms of federal spending as it pertains to higher education and changes to student lending limits. How are we here at the Merage School attacking some of these issues?
Well, it's very clear that the landscape of higher education is going through major disruption right now. One critical aspect of that is federal policy changes. So last year in 2025, there was legislation that was passed which changed the loan structure, the government-supported student loan structure, and that has implications on the amount that student loans are going to cover. And there are concerns that will create a financial vulnerability for several students who previously relied on a larger amount of federal support for them to be able to attain a university education. We are all about increasing access. So if you go back to our mission, increase access to a world-class education. If that's our goal, then we have to acknowledge that those changes are going to probably have an impact on what we're trying to achieve. And it's not just about making sure we have great, talented individuals, it's also making sure those individuals have the resources needed to thrive in this experience. So last year, we launched a campaign specifically targeted towards increasing the amount of scholarships that we would be able to provide to our students. And so we've gone out through a philanthropic ask to raise funds to increase the number of scholarships we can provide so that this is not a barrier to students. I'm really pleased. We launched this in September. We've raised over $1 million thus far. Our community has really rallied behind us. They understand the importance of this investment in our community, in our citizens. And my goal is that we'll raise over $5 million over the next 2 years. And so we will obviously observe and see how the landscape continues to evolve. But I just go back to basics, increase access. And part of that's making sure people are aware of this opportunity, but also making sure they have the resources needed to act on this if they have the right skill.
So Dean Williamson, we're sitting in the state-of-the-art classroom.
Yes, yes.
Outside of facilities, what other strategic investments are you making in the Merage School?
Well, we're a great world-class institution, and we want to continue down that path. That doesn't happen without investment. So certainly we'll continue to invest in all the things that we're doing here. But it's very clear to me that the number one investment we'll make is in our people. It starts there. And what we've done over the last several years is really think hard about what type of talent do we need in our school to ensure that we are future-proof. One big thing we've done, we've hired 11 new faculty in the last 3 years, and from all around the world. And it was designed to bring in new skill sets that allow us to offer new capabilities to our students. Areas like sustainability, Fintech, artificial intelligence. These are all skills that we know will be of high demand and great importance for our students. And now we have the foundational research as well as the curriculum to make sure that our students are getting that type of training. We've also invested heavily in our staff. We want them to be a part of this journey. Building on that investment, this year we've created an opportunity where we're calling it our Create-a-thon, where our staff are actually using AI tools to experiment with new types of processes, new types of bots that we can use to automate or augment different aspects of what we're doing here in the school. So I think there's a lot of really positive energy around us leaning into how technology will be an advantage for us as an institution. Now, those investments in people, they translate into investments in curriculum. This fall, we launched 2 new master's degrees, a master's in management. We also launched a master's in business analytics online version. So we had a previous in-person version. Now we have a version that's for part-time working professionals, fully online. And this is part of our continual investment in online education. We have a great facility here. We want as many people to come here as possible, but we know that's not always possible. And so we have a Flex MBA where students can do their MBA degree online. We now have an online version of our business analytics. We also offer online classes as part of our undergraduate degree. I see us continuing to invest in that because that will be part of the repertoire about how we ensure we're accessible. We've also gone to the other end of the spectrum, the people that haven't even got here yet. So we have several programs we've created for high school students, such as our Life Vest program around financial literacy, or our Future Leaders Initiative program, where we're working with students to give them exposure to business careers and technology spaces. These summer programs are all about increasing the funnel of students that get excited about business. Some of them will show up here one day, but our goal is really that we're creating a bigger group of people for all of us to benefit from.
So Dean Williamson, for people like Derek and I, dedicated alumni and proud members of the Merage community, how could we get more involved and support your vision for the school's future?
Number one, most important, support our students. It's always about them. This is what we are created here for. It will always be about them. And there's several ways in which you can get involved around that. One, share your insight, share your experiences. We're really big on creating opportunities for our students to speak to people who are where they want to be. It plays such an important role. It gives them confidence. You never can underestimate the role you play as a role model for individuals in setting aspirations. And whether this is guest lecturing in a class, we've created a new program called Executive Conversations where we invite individuals to come back and just sit down with our students and they get to ask them questions. Oftentimes the students see the finished product, but they don't see the steps in between. They don't know, like, how did you become a CEO? Like, did that just happen overnight? Like, they don't know what's going on with that. And so it really gives them confidence to say, oh, I'm not there yet, but I can see how I can get there. We want to provide opportunities for our students to get professional experiences. So one of the ways we do this is through consulting projects or capstone projects. So if your organization has the capacity to bring on a group of students to work on an initiative, a media initiative, a tangible initiative, this is phenomenal for our students. What it does for their confidence when they're interviewing to say, as my capstone for my degree, I was able to work for this organization to do a business analytics project or to help them do a marketing plan. What that does is it begins to really separate them from individuals who haven't had that type of opportunity to go from knowing to doing. And so please, if you have those opportunities, reach out. We would love to be involved in that way. And I should also just know, oftentimes it's not the talent that's the barrier for our students. It's the money, it's the resources. So if you have an opportunity to contribute to the scholarship initiative that we're leading, please do so. We want to make sure that our students are able to start and finish, that they're not bogged down by having to work too much so they get distracted from their degree, or they're just not intimidated by the cost of this and never even put themselves in a position to pursue. So support our students, that's number one. However, I should note, it's also important that we're here for our alums. We want to support you. And so for many of our alums, they are at a stage in their career where they're having to retool. They need to get new skills. Perhaps that might be coming back and considering one of our specialty master's degrees or one of our online degrees. That'd be great. For some, it's not necessarily a degree. Maybe they want to get particular skill sets or certifications. This is involving with our Leadership Development Institute. So whether it's you or perhaps your team, where you're trying to get them to have a set of skills that will help your organization be successful, reach out to us. We have the capacity to work with you in that way. I guess finally what I'll say is thank you both. It doesn't just happen. You both are extraordinarily busy individuals in your community, with your families, with your careers. You always take the time to come back and engage with us. And you always take the time to listen to me, to challenge me. We get better together. So I can't think of a better role model of what an alum should be doing for their home institution. So thank you, Reza. Thank you, Derek, for taking the time to do this and taking on the leadership roles, the many leadership roles you have, not just at our school, but also across the campus. And I think I should also take a moment just to say a few words about our broader community. I have the opportunity as the Dean of the Powell Merage School to represent our school all around the world. But of course, the Merage School is not me. The Merage School is our world-class faculty who are doing groundbreaking research and providing amazing contributions in the classroom. It's our phenomenal professional staff who ensure that our students have a world-class experience. It's our collection of alums that are out there that do all that they can to support our current students, to really create a network of reciprocity and also give back in very meaningful and tangible ways. So to everyone who really is a part of this collective, thank you for all that you're doing. We have a phenomenal school. We should be very proud of all that we've accomplished, but I am extremely excited about what we're going to be able to do going forward. And I know it is this collection of people behind this cause that will allow us to continue to be great. So thank you.